I kind of made a couple leaps in my career at different times, and this was kind of the big one. I was interviewing for strategy and marketing jobs, which is what I'd always done, and I was recently married, so I can't even say I leapt without a net. My wife was making a good living, and it allowed me to kind of step back and say, let me do something different. And I started, just asking around, well, how do you combine business and environment? I cared about the environment kind of personally, as I said, not as kind of a tree-hugging camper kind of guy, but just from a resource kind of practicality perspective. Like, if our system is undermining our resource base and a stable climate and clean air, we can't function, and our businesses can't profit and function. And so I tried to figure out how you combine those. I started reading what was, kind of the canon of green business and a few of kind of my heroes in this space. People like Ray Anderson, the late great Ray Anderson, who was one of the first CEOs to really get on this, and people like Paul Hawken and Amory and Hunter Lovins. These are kind of heroes of mine, and it changed my worldview very quickly. I read a few books, and over a couple, 2-3 weeks, I decided that the system we have is broken in many ways, but fixable, and I want to work on the right side of that. I think there's kind of two kinds of people when it comes to learning. There's people who can read something and unknow it, or kind of just go, that was interesting, and people who can't unknow it again. And the world, I think, often changes faster when the people just refuse to let something go. And this just became my passion. So I decided to go back to school. I had an MBA, but I wanted to get the environmental training. I hadn't had a science class since high school probably. And I went back to Yale for a degree in environmental management and kind of married the business with some just solid kind of environmental training. This just became, I think, my way to leverage the experience I had and what I think I can offer the world in terms of business acumen or strategy and kind of evangelism, speaking and writing, with where I think we need to head as a species and as a kind of business community as well. So it was kind of a personal step, but to me, it's my passion comes from a very logical place, which sounds like an odd pairing. It's not just kind of inherent love of the planet, which, yeah, sure, I love it. It's my home, but it's just that I don't think we succeed without managing these issues very well. I think we have some real dangers as a species facing us. There's nothing guaranteeing that we survive. Everyone kind of thinks it'll just work itself out. We have to work really hard to maintain our ability to support what's going to be 9 billion people. Many would argue that's too many. I don't know, but it's going to be 9 billion, so we got to figure out a way to do it. And that's the kind of mission I'm on.